Hey everybody, my name is Jen with What If by Jen Rand. I ask you what if it all goes right and show you everyday people who are doing cool things and the human behind the story. This is my friend Alex. He's with Charming Quail Jewelry in Fort Collins, and he's going to tell us all about him. Go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I'm Alex. I founded and designed for Charming Quail Jewelry, and basically our thing is we help you to revel in whatever it is you nerd out about. Right? We usually lean into nerdy themes, but we do it with an elegance that's really hard to find in the jewelry space, like the nerdy jewelry space. Right? So like if you need to, if you've got a really formal job or something, right? You work at a bank or you got to go to church or whatever. It's really hard to usually wear nerdy jewelry because it's usually kind of loud and cartoonish, and very colorful, maybe made of plastic. Who knows? But like, yeah, I make nerdy jewelry that's really elegant that you can wear everywhere, and it's so yeah. That's the main thing. That's what I really love to focus on. We do a lot of things, but that's sort of the core.
Yeah. And he has a bunch of different categories. And so do you want to share what categories you have right now? Like you have a corgi line and
so they're all, always adding to the categories and making them bigger, adding to more categories. But yeah, we've got corgi lines. We've got the Tour de Corgi here in Fort Collins, right?
If you don't know about that, look it up.
You need to look it up. It is absolutely wild.
Oh, that's a cute sticker.
Right? Yeah. So I had a booth there last year.
And so, is that an option?
Yes, you can get a booth there.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, so you can get a booth at Tour de Corgi. So,
and it's a bunch of corgis running around.
Yes, and it's people that love corgis. They're dressed up in costumes. There's parades. It's wild. But yeah, when people would come by the booth and be like, "Oh, you do jewelry? Okay. Wait, you've got corgi stuff?" Like, yeah, I have corgi stuff. Check it out. I kept telling everybody, come check out my butt because I have these corgi butts that I do because they love corgi butts, But sorry, I'm going on about the corgi butts. We're talking about the categories. So corgi category. That's right. Yeah, I just can't. I do stuff that we can nerd out about. I'm nerding out about stuff. So I've got a corgi collection. I forget what I call it. The Royal something collection. It's a very royal dog, right? I've got a honeybee ring. I want to expand on sort of the bee stuff.
This bee ring is awesome, by the way. I've thought about it every day since I saw it.
Beautiful piece, right?
It made me want you to like design my wedding ring someday. I was like, that is amazing.
You've got my number, so let me know.
Well, we'll see what the prospects hold.
So we've got the bee collection, and I've got a bat necklace that I need to expand on that collection.
Okay.
That was a Victorian sort of vampire inspired kind of thing, but it's beautiful. If you're a Chiroptera fan, I think you'll like it. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I've got a more modern collection that is based on the idea of a little while ago there was the movie Blood Diamond. Right? And that got really popular, and there was this sort of movement against diamonds and the diamond industry, which I get it. There's some stuff in there. There's some stuff in there. I do a lot of work to ethically source the stones that I use.
Yep, love that.
I love using lab stones, which bypasses a lot of the ethical stuff there because it's made in a lab instead of being dug up. But this collection, I'm calling it the Rebel Collection, although I'm thinking about getting a better name for that. But it sort of rebels against the diamond industry and takes classic diamond shapes, right? The princess cut, the round cut, the pear cut, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, what if we did this without the stone? But we used the shapes of the metal to make these beautiful forms. And that collection has been really popular with the art crowd.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So what else? I'm working on a video game collection right now. All of it's still in the concept phase. I've got, I left the prototype at my office. I've got the prototype on my desk for the WASD pennant. So if you're very familiar with the WASD keys, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. But I'm also working on the concept that people have really been drawn to is gaming controller design. So I'm working on sorting that out.
Yeah.
Still kind of redoing the concept sketches to really nail that down. Like people love the original concept. I'm like, okay, cool. I know what direction to go, but I don't want to put this on the shelf with my name on it. This isn't there yet. It's not. Yeah. It's not it.
And I love that. You're allowed to not.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep working on it until I
Yeah.
get it just the way I want it, to put my name on it, my brand on it, that kind of thing.
So when you get
yeah.
like, are you asking people for ideas, or how do you get inspired? What does that look like?
Oh, that's a good. I would, if you guys have ideas, I'm always open to ideas.
I'd be curious if you added a submission for people to be able to say, like,
oh, that's an interesting idea.
and
Maybe
you
I
could
could,
poll
like
people.
I can make
Yeah.
another contact page on my website, but it's specifically for idea submissions. That's a cool idea, because
Yeah.
I'd love more feedback. You know, I feel like the business is kind of in that that social media space where like I'm building the following right now,
Mhm.
but it feels like I'm just like talking to crickets and yelling out
Yeah.
into the void. Like I know
Yeah.
people are watching, I'm seeing the views coming in, but there's not a lot of comments and feedback
Mhm.
yet. So but
Yeah.
that would be a neat way to get
Invite
some more
them in.
feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you
Um,
present and stuff, you could say, if you have an idea, go pop it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do like charmingquails.com/idea
Yeah.
or something
Submit
like
it.
that. Yeah.
See,
be
this is
cool.
why you work with
Yeah.
your friends on things.
You're watching stuff happen in real time.
Also,
This
he
is
wants your
happening.
ideas. So there
Yes,
you
send
go.
me some ideas. Like, what do you nerd out about? What else can I get into?
Yeah, what do you wish you could be hidden in plain sight with? and
Yeah.
connect with your friends over secret club style.
Yeah. Although the funny thing is, I'm starting to learn. I keep leaning into this like hidden in plain sight thing, but like the gaming controller thing that everybody keeps getting drawn to,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm trying to hide stuff too much.
Mm.
I think people are more drawn to the stuff that they know what it is and they want to show off what they're into, but they still want to do it with elegance.
Okay.
So still doing the nerdy theme, doing the elegance, but maybe pulling back on the hidden stuff, because I feel like people aren't responding to the hidden stuff as much. I think they want to show off what they're into.
Yeah.
They
that's
just
a
want to be
good
able to do it
line.
elegantly. So I'm still kind of sorting that out, but
Yeah.
that's kind of the feedback I'm starting to feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what a good example of a creative idea where you go in with your assumptions and you get information and you get to still be who you are and what you're doing, but take up more space.
Yeah.
And I love that, because that's the way it is. You always think that you get to like trickle in, but then really there's a whole world ready for you. And that's a perfect I haven't had a good example of that. That's
Have
cool.
you ever talked about or heard about design methodology?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so my master's degree is in industrial design. So, part of that whole curriculum was learning design methodology, which is basically, I think the best way I've found to explain that is like, this is how to think outside of the box like clockwork, right? Because everybody's always like, think outside the box. How many times has somebody told you to think outside the box, and you know that they are telling you because they have no idea how to think outside of the box?
Yeah.
I need you to think outside the box, right?
Most judgment is that.
Right, yeah. So I feel like there's a lot of managers and stuff like, I need everybody to think outside the box. We got to think outside the box, but there's nobody in the room that knows how to think outside the box.
Yeah, what's that? What is the box? Yeah.
Design methodology. You can Google that, and it's not super formalized, and there's a lot of wiggle room in what that really means and what it is. But there is a design business out of San Francisco that's really famous for formalizing their own version of it and teaching it to the people. IDEO is the name of that business, but their design methodology is an amazing way of thinking outside the box like clockwork every time, right? Because as a designer, that's my job. Is every day I have to go in and think outside the box. And so they had to teach me like, okay, how do you do that every day, not by accident, like, just whatever. And so design methodology is an interesting, and it's very much that go out there, do something, get feedback, do research, and then like insert that feedback into the creative loop. And then, do it again, get more feedback, and just keep doing it until you get to the point where the negative feedback has kind of gotten so low that it's negligible at some point, like if you just keep repeating that loop over and over again, it's a little more complex than that, but that's kind of the basic idea behind it. Research, do something, put it out there, get the feedback, take that feedback, do it again, and then eventually you kind of just keep boiling it down to what it really needs to be.
It's an unseen skill. I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting. So do you have is it like a ritual you do to like clock, it's like the end of my work day, I'm washing my hands, I'm, taking a step back and I enter in with a fresh mind, or is it like, what does it look like for you? How do you do that day to day?
Oh gosh, how do I do it?
I mean,
day
I
to
know you
day?
probably have like a complex method of it, but I'm just curious if you have an example.
I'm a dad and an entrepreneur, and like
Yeah.
my day to day is really more just like herding cats
Yeah,
everywhere, right? Like we have so many different projects. I'm sure
Yeah.
you probably understand.
Yeah, totally.
But like I don't know. I guess I mean, it's I do concepts, and it's hard because I'm kind of in a place where it's difficult to get the feedback yet. I feel because I get a little bit bigger, the feedback will be a little bit easier to do. So a lot of it is right now. What it looks like for me is I do concept sketches. Right, I'll get my iPad out and I'll start sketching out concepts, and I'll do like what's about an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I'll do the first thing that comes to my mind, then I'll do like 2 or 3 more, and then I'll get over a month or something, I might have like 5 or 6 concepts across the sheet. And whenever I go somewhere or I run into a friend, I'm like, hey, check out the stuff that I've been working on. Tell me what you think. Or, I'll be out at the art walk or something. I do the art walk a lot. And people come up to the booth and we'll be having this conversation, and I'll mention something that's not on the table but is in the works.
Sure.
And, like this video game collection. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what are you doing with that? Well, hold on a second. Let me show you what I got. And I pull out the iPad and I show them what's going on.
Oh, I love
like,
that.
oh my God, I love that one right there. That's
Yeah.
how I'm starting to figure out this gaming controller one's picking up some
Cool.
momentum, which is kind of new for me. I'm not used to getting that much feedback.
Yeah.
So excited about that.
Yeah.
But then okay, so I talked about I'm getting that feedback on that gaming controller. Like, cool. Now out of these like 6, I had like 2 or 3 that I thought was going to be really cool and was going to hit. And I'm learning that those are not the ones people want. It's these other ideas I had that people want. And so now I'm like, okay, let me go back and refine those ideas. I'm going to redraw them. And then I'll build a computer model after that, do some computer renders. I'll print out. I've got a team that helps me 3D print plastic prototypes. I don't think I have any of those with me. I don't think I have any of those with me right now. Anyway, and then I kind of check the plastic prototypes because I'm doing this stuff on, I got my little YouTube set up at home, right? I got some big 55-inch screen that I retired from the family where I'm like, oh, I could use it in my office. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm making this jewelry and it's like this big on the screen.
Yeah.
So I'm like printing out the things because there's so many things that like when you see it on the screen, oh yeah, that looks great. That's perfect. And then you see it in person at this size, like, oh no, that's not working at all at scale. This is, but that's why I do the plastic prototypes. So I can see it at scale before I go to production and, catch stuff like that. And then I go to production and we 3D print a wax, and then we're doing all this 3D printing and CAD modeling and stuff. And then we work on using the ancient Grecian lost wax casting technique. It's like this marriage of high tech meets like ancient artistry stuff,
Sure.
And then, we cast it and set it. And I've got master metalsmiths local here that help me out with that and everything.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. People you learn from too, right?
Yes. I've learned so because I honestly because I can't do I learned how to design, but I started out in jewelry, obviously not knowing jack diddly about jewelry because that wasn't what I studied.
Right.
But I got hired. Tim White from Darvier hired me. Thank you, Tim. But I was like, dude, I know design, but I don't know anything about jewelry. He's like, that's great. Like, if you know design, you've got the gumption. Like, I can teach you the jewelry part. Yeah. And so I worked with him. I worked with the metalsmiths there at Darvier and stuff, and we worked super closely to kind of figure out how to design stuff that was going to come out the way it was intended to.
Cool.
Sometimes it required design changes because metalsmiths were like, well, that's not going to turn out the way you think it is.
Right.
But over the years, I've collected a lot of knowledge and stuff from that. So
cool.
Yeah.
So I want to hear more about your history, so we'll dive into that. But first, this refinement process, I think this is something people are afraid of. And so part of your education is feedback, right? Like design is constant evolution. What's the need of the person who's going to be using it, whether it's a chair or a stove, like we were talking about, or jewelry or
whatever.
Another
story that we haven't talked about on camera yet. Fun story.
Like a super old stove or whatever it is. Like you live in a world where refinement and feedback is a necessity. Is that something you've always been comfortable with, or is that something you had to learn?
I feel like a little bit of A and B, but I feel like my mother was a teacher, and it's funny. I don't even I don't think she taught that many years, because by the time I was 1 year old, she left the teaching scene to be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
Amazing woman. But she was always a teacher. I mean, you can take the teacher out of the school, but you can't
Yeah.
take the school out of the teacher. No, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Like you can't, like you could not make her not a teacher.
That was
like,
her.
yeah, like she is a teacher to her core. And I feel like, she always understood the teaching process was messy, and if you're going to learn, you have to make mistakes. Like that's
it.
That's how you learn. Like you don't learn by not. I mean, it's great to read and do this and that, but like at the end of the day, there's only so much you're actually going to take in without making the mistakes yourself, and applying it. And so I feel like when I got into design, there was a part of it that was pretty natural already to me, and really part of my core. But then getting into design, like it just hammered it deeper and deeper into my core. And it's one of those things that's tough, because to get feedback, you have to put your work out there, right? And it's
vulnerable.
Yeah, it's very vulnerable, right? I mean, from the outside, I mean, well, it's just your drawing or whatever, but from the inside, like that drawing is a piece of me. Like that's my work. Like that, people are critiquing that, but it's not that they're critiquing how I did it. And sometimes there's emotions and personal stories and stuff that go into that, and so there is definitely a learning curve to getting up in front of the class at the time in school. And doing, the teachers were very big on like every step of the process. We would get like, once a week, once every 2 weeks, we'd be up in front of the class presenting the work that we've been doing, our sketches, our prototypes, or, whatever, specifically seeking feedback and working off, like doing the back and forth conversation with that feedback, which was hard. And it still can be, but it's I've definitely grown that thicker skin because of that experience. And it's funny, like what is the shows they do with like the X Factor and stuff like that, and there's always the mean guy in the group,
they're always.
And I remember in high school being like, that guy's such a jerk, why does everybody like him? Well, no, you got to get to know him, you got to understand him, I'm like, but now like I get that, right? Like he's giving legit feedback, and it's hard to hear, but that's the best stuff to learn from, 100%. That's where you get the most information.
Which reminds me,
yes,
Simon Cowell, who is the famous
character. That's the guy I'm talking about. Yes.
Number one, I saw a video of him the other day. This little girl was singing on X Factor, America's Got Talent, or whatever he was on. And she starts to sing, and he's like, shut the music off, this is horrible. And everyone was like gasping. And he was like, this is not her song. She can't sing this. Put on something she can. And she switched, and she did really good, and she made it through. And it was like I was like, there it is. Like, there's the other side of it. But did you know that he produced the Teletubbies?
What? No way.
I looked that up. They said it on something, and I was like, what?
No, yeah.
Right?
That's crazy. Oh my God.
So he has a lot of information that he's bringing to the table.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he's being mean, but he's just cutting through the bullshit and just getting straight to the point.
Yep.
And that's what we need as designers.
Yep. And if we didn't have all the levels of critique, the supportive critique, the one who's like, I have all of this information, this is not going to work. We need that. And that's good. I'm glad you have that. That in and of itself is very valuable. If you take nothing else from this conversation, it's good.
Is it really common? No, because I'm also sitting there thinking like back to high school and college and whatever, is like the meanest teachers I had. At some point I realized, oh man, those are the ones that helped me grow the most. Like, is that pretty common? Does everybody else like get that? I don't know.
Did you realize it at the time though, or did you reflect on it?
It's one of those things where like at some point it clicked. I was like, oh, and it, it depended on when I had the teacher, right? Like there was definitely a teacher in high school that he's kind of known for being the mean teacher, and I thought he was pretty mean. But then like by the time I graduated high school, I'm like, oh no, I get this guy. Like he's really, like he's made a difference, in a way that some of my nicer teachers love him to death. Yeah. But they didn't make quite the depth of impact,
Yeah, I think of it, I don't know. I think about the dynamics of humans a lot, and like how there's a student that needs the super nice teacher, and there's the student who needs pushed in the more serious technical direction.
Interesting.
And how it's cool how, I mean, you usually see it differ too in different like topics and the different categories in school. What are they called?
What subjects?
Subjects. There you go. I'm like, what is the word? And the different subjects and stuff. But I think, I don't know if people realize that or not, but I hope so. And I hope when people take a leadership position, they appreciate that as well, you know?
Yeah.
Because we need that.
Yeah. So I'm learning more and more like this design methodology. You know, I just like, well, yeah, of course that's the way you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning that like other people, like it's not as obvious to them. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. I'm starting to learn the things that make me different from everybody else. And so I'm like, now I'm starting to question the things that I take for granted. Like, well, of course everybody knows that. I know that, but I'm not sure everybody else does.
And I think if you want to keep being more unique, you need to have more technical feedback as well. I think because they're probably the more of the type of consumer that you'd be going after too. So that you can take into consideration a deeper market, I think is a lot of the time what I see too.
Yeah.
You get different information so you can be more appeasing to, or appeal to more of an audience. And
yeah, I don't know.
Not generic.
I'm thinking, like I'm trying to learn more about my audience, so it's easier to niche down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I'm almost trying to appeal to fewer and fewer people.
Yep.
So that the people that I appeal to are really into what I'm doing.
Yep.
I don't want to sell vanilla ice cream. I want to sell Rocky Road ice cream. Not everybody's into Rocky Road, but man, the people that are
really
they're into it.
Really love it. Yeah.
I know that's something I learned through business school. Again, I don't know how common knowledge that is, but yeah.
And you get to have more fun in a more unique space, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's an important topic. And it's a thing I think in business conversations people want to avoid. Like, I can't help everybody, but like you just can't, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And you might be surprised that you're appealing with your jewelry to people you didn't think of. And at some point too, you never know.
It's funny because the history stuff, right? I used to teach college courses.
Cool.
In graphic design, business, and computer usage and stuff like that. But that was one of the things that I had to like deprogram students on, because business students will come in and be like, I'm like, okay, let's do a project, come up with a business and give me your target market. And they're like, I want something that I'm going to make something that everybody wants. I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm going to tell you, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
To no one, yeah.
If you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. You've got to figure out who you're really talking to. And that was something that I worked hard to deprogram students, to reprogram them to understand that.
So what kind of teacher were you?
The mean guy. I was definitely the mean guy. I was the guy, like the principal, or I don't think she was called a principal, it was some different term, but we'd have conversations. She's like, I have these conversations with all these students, and like I know the ones that are like, they're like, oh man, Mr. Alex's class, like I can't skip the homework in his class. Like I got to turn it in, or I'm gonna fail that. Like.
But that's also good, right?
But that was the thing, is I was learning that like the more I expected of the students, the more I pushed of them. Like the students I was working with, they were a lot of them were professionals trying to find a better life for themselves. You know, so a lot of them had kids at home, they had a full-time job, and they're here trying to do college all at the same time. And so I think a lot of the teachers, we're really flexible with them because of that, and I get it. Good God, I get it.
Yeah, you live it every day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's also this weird thing of like, okay, but if you expect more of them, they raise to those expectations and learn that they're capable of more than they ever thought they were. Yep. And so I really leaned hard into that, and I feel like I feel like the students got a lot out of that. So there were definitely some students that were not my biggest fans, but I hope that years later they look back and like, okay, I didn't like him then, but I kind of get where he was coming from, and it actually helped. Yeah. That kind of stuff. I was tough on him, but it was for a purpose.
When they have to show up in the way that you expected them in the real world.
Yeah, it was tough. So, and I know I wasn't perfect at it. I made some mistakes, but I did my best.
Yeah, we all do, right?
Yeah.
So I want to know how you even got here in all of this. So I love the storyline. I love everything you're doing. I love your products. I think it's fun. I think you're at a fun stage where you're exploring and learning and putting new pieces together. And it's a phase that when you get past it, you won't ever go back to, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But you'll probably be happy when stuff gets in order too.
But
But
nice when things just kind of flow a little bit better. It's
Yeah,
not all an
exactly.
uphill battle.
yeah, exactly, because there's always a phase of that.
Yeah.
But how did you get here? I know when I did an interview with you, we talked about like the show and tell concept, and what are some gaps you saw in the world that you're trying to take space in with this? Like,
Yeah, so I used to work, I talked a little bit before about working at Darvier as a jewelry designer there. And
that's a local place.
Yeah, it's a local jewelry studio here. Great, high quality stuff. Love them. And when I worked there as a designer, I was working one-on-one with the clients, or one-on-two, because it's often couples, but designing more than anything wedding sets, right? Did some anniversary bands and all kinds of different things, but mostly wedding sets. It's the bread and butter, right? And I just, from time to time, we would get a couple that would come in and be like, hey, we're really into this like super nerdy thing, but we work at a bank,
Right.
and this is our wedding set. We have to wear it every day. We have to wear it to work. Like,
Yeah.
I can't show up with like super nerdy thing. Like, oh, you're into that thing. My little nephew's into that thing too,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it gets
yeah, yeah.
weird and all that.
Yeah.
It's a professional environment and stuff. And so I would get to work at like, how do I design something that's like super nerdy? It's on this theme, but it's so classic and elegant and beautiful that if you're not into that thing, you'll never know.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful piece. And no matter who they are, when you run into them, like, oh my God, that's a beautiful piece. Where'd you get that?
Right.
But then to their friends and stuff, when they're, doing D&D with their buds later, they can be more open about it. And friends are like, wait a minute, is that? It is. That's so awesome. That's so, and so that was really what I enjoyed doing the most. Like, I enjoyed a lot of stuff I did there, but that was the thing that really stuck out to me that I really loved doing. Honestly, there was almost like a little bit of like fighting between the designers to get those jobs, because we all like really enjoyed those jobs. And I mean, it was all fun stuff, but you could see everybody kind of like, if one of those you could see coming in, everybody's kind of on the edge to see, ooh, who gets it, But I really enjoyed doing that, and I don't know, like there is definitely a part of me too that is the community that comes from this kind of stuff, going to Comic-Con and Dragon Con and stuff like that. There's a certain community of coming together with people like that. Something about where we can all be free to be who we are, I feel like there's a lot more to articulate in there that I haven't figured out how to articulate quite yet. But I'm a huge fan of everybody just being themselves and being proud of whoever they are. And I don't care what you come from. I don't care what you're into, as long as nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate, what makes us unique and what makes us interesting. And I feel like that all kind of plays into this too. This is a really cool way to celebrate whatever it is you nerd out about, whether it's video games or bees or corgis or Dungeons and Dragons, whatever it is. Celebrate that, enjoy that, and God, enjoy the beauty of life where you can.
Are you going to be at Comic-Con coming up here?
Yes, I need to get into signing up for that. Okay. I have not, but I want to get a booth there. Cool. I need to get a booth there. I wasn't ready for it last year, but I think this year I'm fighting real hard to get the pieces I want out and ready for that. I want to get this video game collection ready for that booth. But hopefully I'll be close enough, even though I don't have that. I've got so many different projects that are going on, and like, oh, this one needs to get done by, mid-May, and this one needs to get done by mid-June. I got these cool projects going on, but I need the pieces before I get to the project. And the casting time can take a while, but yes, I'm hoping to get a booth at Fort Collins Comic-Con. It's 2026. I don't know when it is. I just dated the video. I'm sorry, but
that's okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
What if someone was going to get jewelry from you? We haven't talked about that yet. What does that look like?
That's a good question.
We haven't talked about that.
The best place to start is going to charmingquail.com/contact, or just go to charmingquail.com and find the contact button, right? And so they can send me a message through that. That'll hit my email, and I'll get back to you pretty quickly. But So get in touch with me. But then, yeah, either, well, that's assuming you want a custom piece, right? We also have a store, right? There's an online store on the website. Should definitely go check that out. Check out the store page. Check out all the cool Corgi stuff and the all the things we talked about. And you can order right there from the page. And then all of that's made to order.
Okay.
So so then once you place your order, I will start working with my local master metalsmiths to start making your piece just for you. And then we'll make it and ship it to you and all that stuff. But then also I do custom pieces as well. So if you want a custom engagement ring or anniversary ring or mother's ring or whatever, or maybe you've just got some wild crazy thing that I've never heard of that I can't wait to hear about, like maybe the stove project we just talked about.
Maybe your dog wants a little bling.
Yeah, I've that's kind of come up. I haven't quite talked to somebody who wanted to order one, but it keeps coming up in conversation
in Fort Collins
about doing some something to go on the collar or something. So all kinds of stuff. But yeah, the contact page is the way to get started on the custom stuff, and then that's such a fun process because I'm working with one client now. I got another one starting up, and then I'm working with a client on a Star Trek Next Generation Com badge inspired ring right now. It's kind of an anniversary ring. So that's a fun piece.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, and I'm sitting down with them. I'm drawing with them live. They're watching it happen. Like, ooh, I like this. I don't like that. Okay, cool. Let me adjust the drawing. And so that's all happening live. And then from there, once we've got a sketch they're into, then we move into doing the computer modeling. And then I come back with computer renders, like lifelike renders. A plastic prototype so you can kind of see it at scale in person. And then if there's any stones involved, I'll have the stones at that appointment as well. And so you get to see all this stuff and kind of approve things as things are going along. And we just had that meeting and they're like, oh, but this one piece just feels like it's not, that needs to be kind of smoothed out. I don't really like how this juts out right here. I'm like, cool.
Amazing.
Right. Yeah, let me go back. I'll make that adjustment and, run it back by you. And if the next one is what you're looking for, then cool, we'll go to casting from there. You know? So that's kind of how that process looks.
Yeah, that was an important thing to cover.
yeah.
The obvious question, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and like you obviously really love it.
Yeah,
it's your thing.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's every time. Sometimes you have those hard days, and I kind of forget how much I love it, and then I get into a conversation with somebody about it, and then I just start lighting up and I start nerding out, and then I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just chased like 3 squirrels off in different directions. I'm gonna bring this back to our conversation now. I'm back here now. I'm sorry. But I was just like so busy nerding out, and I just lost myself.
Help him nerd out.
Yeah,
Get your piece ordered. He also needs to nerd out, so help him nerd out.
Let's nerd out together.
That's funny. What I always ask 3 questions.
Okay.
And I'll start with this one. What is something you wish you knew during your entire process getting here? Maybe it's part of the jewelry making process. Anything you can think of that you wish you would have understood a little bit sooner that would have helped you?
Oh, man, just leaning into, I think, I don't know, so much of life, especially building a business, is brick by brick, and I feel like I've tried a few different business ideas and, part of it was trying out different ideas and figuring out what was going to work. And this was the business idea that I'm like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing. This has got legs. This is where I need to be. But also knowing that it's just like, man, every day is brick by brick, right? Every day trying to get 1% better at what I'm doing. So that by the end of the year, I'm like 300% better than I was at the beginning of the year, but it's and it's so tough watching the small incremental pieces falling into place when I just want everything to fall into place and it works, But there's something like I wish I better understood that brick by brick, just 1% better every day. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you're making the brick.
Yeah. Have to build the brick.
You're like, who knows about bricks? Someone has to know about bricks.
Yeah.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
It is.
What's something you wish other people knew, if you can give a message to the audience here?
God, be yourself. Don't hide who you are. And if people don't like you for who you are, well, I don't know if I can say that on this show, but Fuck them. I'm sorry. If they don't like you for who you are, fuck them. They are not worth your time. Be you and let the people that love you for who you are find you because you are being you.
It's
That's
possible.
the thing. That's
Oh
what
my
it's
God.
all about.
I've spent a lot of time, just so everyone knows, wondering, where the hell are my people? Like, when am I going to be able to sit at a table? This is one take.
Yeah.
This is, like, we've had multiple conversations, but
Yeah.
like, when can we just say this on camera? And here we are. This is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Go find the people who understand and connect and do not hide and explore and give yourself permission to even start the process if you never have. So I just need to piggyback on that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
You can say whatever you want.
You can't
Let her
find your people if you're not being yourself.
Yep.
If you're not being true to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, man, it's
And not just one piece, all the pieces.
all the pieces.
Yeah.
All the pieces. I feel like that was part of what really drew my wife and I together. Is I feel like she hit, and here's another puzzle piece behind the whole thing, right? Like, there's so much inspiration in this business, in my design, from my wife. She and her whole family, I mean, you know, before it was cool, they were all nerding out about all their stuff. But she felt like she had to hide who she was to be able to fit in, to keep from being ostracized, to keep from being bullied. And in our relationship, I spent so much time like deprogramming that and being like, you are amazing. You know, like, let this out. Like, this is amazing. And the people that don't like it, screw them. Who cares about them? You know, like, let's do this thing. You know, she's a fairly taller woman, and so she never wore high heels. I'm like, screw that. Do you know how sexy you are in high heels? Like, I don't care if you're 4 or 5 inches taller than me when you're in the high heels. Like, do it. Like, I just screw my ego. Let's do this thing. You know.
Also, find partners like that.
Yeah, right. We're out there. We're out there. Just be you and freaking just live that up. Let that shine. So
yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, I just
don't apologize.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I just
As a matter of fact, if you're watching this and you're like, I have a message that I want to scream, go record it and post it.
Yes.
That's a What If It All Goes Right challenge for you today. Which brings
Tag us in that. I want to see it. I want to see it. Like, whatever your thing is, let it out. Tag us.
I'm clipping this for sure.
Yeah. So, tag Charming Quail. I want to see it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So to piggyback off of that, what if it all goes right for you?
What if it all goes right? What is it? I'm not sure where to start with that question. It seems so big and broad. Like, what like
impact
5
are you
years
making?
from now? What impact am I making?
Maybe people making videos.
God, let it ripple. Videos. I don't know, man. Like, just I hope that in a few years there is a community built around this business. Like, not for the purpose of the business, but just for you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Where we can all just do what we were just talking about. Be us, you know? Be who you are and enjoy that.
And guess what? You have people making you jewelry to be that.
I'm here to help. However I can help. If I can make you some jewelry, great. If it's not jewelry, if it's something else, like, I'm here to help everybody just get there. Like, this is just the jam.
Yeah.
And jewelry happens to be the thing that I'm good at doing, that I can kind of help with that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I can build community in that space too, where people have a place where they can just celebrate being who they are.
Yeah. It's rare. It doesn't happen a lot. And I love helping people craft lives so they can be who they are. That's the work that I do. And so that they can have the support to be able to do that. I love that. Yeah. That's my whole thing. And so I find people like him who are doing the work within it to help supply all the things. So, so much good. I feel like we can follow up 1,000 times and talk about a million different angles of this. Yeah. But I appreciate it. Yeah. This is the real human stuff. This is if it's going to go right, you're raw, you're honest, you tell some people to fuck off. Didn't know I was ever going to be saying that stuff on camera during my life, but it's true. Yeah. I've had to do that a lot. I've been the one who's left situations and moved and with no money and all the things to be able to avoid. So, And I know that you've taken up your space and you've helped your wife and you're helping a bunch of other people do that. So if you are feeling like you need pushed in that direction, know we're the lights showing you that today. And I want you to ask yourself, what if it all goes right? And go into the abyss of that question, because I know that it is a highly loaded, but it ends up being a heart answer that if you ignore that, you aren't living life fully. So ask yourself that question. Know that you have practical resources and support in this community that's being built. You can get connected with him. I'm going to make sure his community is getting built too and support him. And that's why we're doing all this good stuff. If you want to be featured, if you want to share your heart and soul and tears and all the things, and share your message and your experience and the space that you're creating in the world, let me know. But otherwise, where can we find you?
Charmingquail.com, but also just follow at Charming Quail anywhere you hang out. Like I'm hitting pretty much all the social networks.
all the things.
Yeah, anything I can find. I spend a lot more time on YouTube, trying to make the long form videos and stuff. But I do a lot of vertical videos on everything else. But I've got a blog on charmingquail.com. I think it's charmingquail.com/fanfeed. You can subscribe to that. That's also a great place. So
perfect.
Yeah.
And go to the website, www.whatifitallgoesright.org, for your sticker.
Yes.
He has one.
Yes.
And
I love
spread
that.
the message for the world.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being here. Do your thing. What if it all goes right?